Talking Reddit presents r/AskReddit. Lawyers of Reddit. What is a detail that your client failed to bring up to you, that completely lost you the case? A friend of mine is a lawyer, and he said that a client once turned up to court in the actual same outfit that he was wearing in the burglary. When the CCTV footage come up in evidence, the client looked down to himself and was like, oh shit. Edit, my first ever awards, cheers. I'm a public defender in an area with lots of meth use. Meth makes most people talk a lot. So I can't tell you how many clients forget to mention that they got to the jail still high and called their mom/girlfriend/buddy on the recorded jail phone and not only confessed to the crime, but also brainstormed whatever alibi or version of events I'm relying on to defend them. Edit, I'm seeing this question a lot, so I'll add some info here. This is not legal advice. Just explaining things a bit more. Calls to a lawyer are privileged, and generally go through dedicated lines that aren't recorded, depending on the facility. Calls to family, friends, etc. through the normal phones are not privileged, are generally recorded, and can be used in court. There are usually printed signs near the phones and a recorded warning before each call that this is the case. Not mine, but a client forgot to mention to her lawyer that the reason for the divorce was because she was recording all her buck sessions with her lover and sent it to her husband while said husband was attending her mother's funeral. Addendum, just got back from an errand and was shocked by the amount of replies and questions. First up, adultery is considered a crime. The husband came to the funeral from another state while his wife was supposed to be there. He didn't find her. The video was sent to the husband because in the mind of the wife, if she humiliates him he'll be so emasculated he'll let her have everything if they divorced. Also, she didn't just send it to him, she sent to his friends and family and some of her friends' family. It was thought she was either on drugs or just very vindictive. Her lawyer wasn't happy when he found out about the videos, he just thought it was a normal divorce. I was involved in a hit-and-run car accident. My leg was pretty mangled. However, the driver of the car was caught. Turns out he was a rich kid who was driving his mum's convertible Porsche. Denied all knowledge of hitting me, etc. At the trial, the prosecutor asked him how long he had been driving, to which he answered, "Do you mean how long have I been driving legally, or illegally?" The judge then went nuts asking why, and when he had been driving illegally. His defense team sat down in their chairs and shook their heads. Needless to say, he lost the case. Interestingly, he died a year later by drowning. He had hired speedboat and holiday, flipped it over and drowned. Turns out he was drunk at the time. Karma can be a punt. I can picture how the kid thinks he's tough, by saying the exact same things to his friends, and that reply just become a habit to him anytime anyone asked about him driving. Sounds like my brother, to be honest. I'm a court-appointed attorney for qualifying individuals in family matters. Termination of parental rights case. Have been fighting to argue that parent is stable, working lawfully, has a suitable apartment, doesn't need psychotropic meds anymore, ready to be a parent, etc. After a few months of negotiating with all the parties and Department of Children, Court Services, we have a pre-trial to try and convince guardians. I meet with my client before the hearing to see if anything changed. Nope, all good, let's get my kids. Great, that's not happening today, but let's try. We get going in court. My client, who is super hot-headed and quick to anger, gets riled up and goes off on the guardians, screaming in open court. It doesn't end there, but reveals 1. That no longer is working, 2. No longer in apartment, 3. Doesn't want to have a relationship with guardians despite her kids loving them, 4. Won't send her kids pictures of the toys they miss and can't have, 5. Plans on moving out of state, 6. thinks they can live as a family off of state aid when she gets them back, and is 4 months pregnant. All in the matter of 15 seconds. I was too shocked to even react. Speechless. Not the image of stability and parental fitness I've been trying to paint since last July. Edit to clarify, client was working really hard to get everything right, and legitimately had everything going for her prior to this hearing. I was not making false representations or trying to get a monster reinstated. This was a true bombshell, as I did my due diligence to make sure things were on the up and statutory requirements were met. Things fell apart very fast apparently. This was a very atypical situation. Parents typically do a really good job working hard to meet their requirements. I'm still a law student, and this happened during my first internship at a court. A girl among other people was charged with drug possession, but because she had thrown away the drugs and the police couldn't prove that she bought or owned the drugs, because it could have been one of the other people as well, who still had drugs on them. The judge ruled in dubio pro reo. He then asked if she wants to say/add something, and this girl asked if she can get her drugs back. The defense attorney looked like he was about to get a heart attack. Edit, for those wondering, I know what in dubio pro reo means, but I wasn't sure if they use the term in other countries and tried to explain it if not. This happened in Germany. Not a lawyer yet, but I clerked for a DA's office throughout law school. Obviously we don't have clients, but I'll never forget this kidnapping case I worked on. It involved 2 Asian male defendants who were both the same age and looked relatively similar. Witnesses on the stand and is asked to identify where the defendant who pushed an Uzi into his face is seated. It's clear the witnesses is having trouble differentiating the defendants. In a true moment of brilliance, one defendant raises his fucking hand and basically points to himself like, right here bud. Hands down the dumbest shit I'd ever seen. I thought his defense attorney was going to have a brain aneurysm.